Good morning, everyone, and welcome to CSL Greater Boston. It is a gift to be here with you, and we are having internet issues today. It has been a interesting. We have been having some internet challenges, unfortunately, today. So bear with us. I am knowing Spirit is guiding us through this fabulous program that we have set for you today. And, we go with the flow. So I'm Gina. I'm the spiritual director here at CSL Greater Boston. And it is a loving community where we come together to bring the best of science, spirituality into one culmination of truth, love, and community. So thank you for being here as we teach science of mind, knowing that all is well, regardless of what it seems. And this is a perfect week to come together and recognize that oneness. And we're doing that actually with a wonderful guest this morning who is in Vancouver, British Columbia. The artist this morning that we have is Nathan Aswell, and he is a wonderful musician. He's a recording artist, inspirational speaker, based in Vancouver, British Columbia. He believes his calling in life is to encourage people to live big lives one small step at a time. And I'll talk a little more about his CDs, and I'll give you his way to get a hold of him. But he's been a performing songwriter, inspirational speaker, and soon to be author. And he is just blessed with me to be on New Thought Media Network. He has his own show, and that's how we met. And actually this week, he's going to be my interview on finding the joy in the journey. And you have to watch because the love story with his wife is just precious. He's probably not going to be thrilled that I'm sharing that, but that's the preview. So welcome, Nathan Aswell.
Thank you so much, Gina. Great pleasure to be here. Good morning, everybody. As Gina said, I'm coming to you from Vancouver, BC, Canada, and this morning I'd like to start the service with a song by India Ari called I Am Light. If you know it, please sing along.
The things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. Mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. Not the color of my eyes, I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age, I'm not my race. My soul inside is all light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. And we're thankfully going to hear working in a little bit. And for our invocation this morning, we have our beautiful and beloved Barbara Fleet, who is our chair of our leadership council and also is the spiritual director for South Coastal Mass CSL. So, Barbara?
Thank you, Gina, and thank you, Nathan, for a beautiful song. And so just staying in that space of knowing that each one is the divine light. Just taking a moment to continue on going within. And as we breathe out love. And breathing in and breathing out peace. Letting everything and anything before this surface just fade away, melt away. So that each one is in the consciousness of their own magnificence, their own divine. Each one seeing themselves illuminated with this one divine light and having it emanate out from them into this wonderful circle of love and peace here, and into this community and into this world. As we direct our love and we direct our energy of peace to those most in need of it right here and right now, bringing peace and love to the entire planet, to each and every leader, to each and every creation. And so I know that all is unfolding in absolute perfection in this beautiful and sacred service. I know that each one participating is open and empty. We stand in this circle of love of the divine, allowing spirit to just flow through us. I know that all is in perfection. Our technology is in perfection. Anyone who is partaking in the service is standing in this wonderful consciousness and energy of oneness with spirit and the all. So I am so grateful to know that we are one with each other and one with the divine, and that this sacred service is unfolding in divine right action, divine right timing, and absolute love, peace, and joy. And so it is. And so we're moving into our spiritual reading, and there's a great little story about this reading. I was talking to Gina Friday night, and for me, this is early, Bary. You'll be very proud. I said, Gina, what's Bary's theme for, for Sunday? And she said, how about his book, Move Into Your Magnificence? I was like, oh, that's great. And as she was doing that, she went in to explain how there were internet issues that were happening and things kept popping up on the screen, not exactly what she was looking for. And she said, oh, look at this. This is from, Don Miguel Ruiz. And she started reading it to me, and I was like, well, thank you very much. There's my reading for Sunday. It was just perfect. So I just love divine intervention and feel like this is meant for each and every one of you. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. Use your imagination and a tremendous thing will happen. Imagine that you have the ability to see the world with different eyes whenever you choose. Using your imagination and your new eyes of perception, I want you to see yourself living a new life, a new dream. Imagine that you have permission to be happy and to really enjoy your life. Imagine living your life without fear of expressing your dreams. Imagine living your life without the fear of being judged by others. Imagine living your life without judging others. Imagine living without the fear of loving and not being loved. Imagine living your life without being afraid to take a risk and to explore life. Imagine that you love yourself just the way you are in this very moment. This way of life is possible, and it's in your hands. Moses called it the promised land. Buddha called it nirvana. Jesus called it heaven. And the Toltecs call it a new dream. And so it is.
Thank you, Barbara. And we have an original now that Nathan is going to play for us. And the song is called I Can See You. You're on mute.
Thank you, Gina. This song is called, as Gina said, I Can See You, and it's a song to my younger wounded self who is dealing with the painful divorce of my parents, and I offer this to all of us who have broken pieces inside that need to be healed, that we heal them so that we can be the magnificent beings that we truly are. I can see you.
I can see you. I can see you. I can see you. I can see you. You wore a big grin. You wore a big grin and drank it all. Sorry. Here we go. You made your debut, all shiny and new, your heart and hands open wide. You wore a big grin and drank it all in, your happiness justified. Till that final scene with the king and queen scared away that shine. And I can see you barely breathing and still in that tidal wave. I can see you huddled deep in the dark of a tiny cave. Alone and displaced, you painted your face and learned how to work the crowd. You mastered the art of playing it smart, and feelings were not allowed. Since that final scene with the king and queen, that's been your solemn vow. And I can see you holding court with a smile and a lonely heart. I can see you crying under the mask as you live that part. I think it's time you had your say. It's no longer yesterday. You'll be safe now, and I promise I'll be with you all the way. You can laugh and sweat and shake, you can cry until you wake, you can kick and scream and fight, and keep me up all night. I will listen while you do, and remember what is true. You're not the one to blame, and it's time to end this game, 'cause I can see you. I can see you. I can see you. I can see you. I can see you barely breathing and still
so much, Nikki. And it's, it was wonderful to chat with you. And he's Morning Musings is his show on Wednesdays. What time is it on Wednesday mornings?
It's 9 my time, 10
And,
Mountain, and noon your time.
okay. And there's a lot more that he tells and shares about his El Camino trip and this coming Thursday. So definitely I encourage you to do that. And I'm going to be also showing the next time that he comes up. I just want to mention I'm also going to be showing this is his PayPal. If anybody wants to give donations, he's been very kind to be here with us this morning, and I just want to make sure people know that's what I'm putting up there. So thank you, and we get to see a little more of you later on. Thank you so much. And now we have our spiritual message. And there aren't enough words to tell you how much I think of this man. And I always make him blush because I love him. I just love this man. And for many personal reasons, he has been there for me, for my husband. He's been there in ways that I can't even share, as well as for Concordia, the center that I came from. I actually went through practitioner one with him. This, I have a full bio, just so you know, but I think I hate just being canned. He is, he led local churches for 40 years. He's been a pastor. He's done so much. He's a professor at, uh, right now at Bryant, as well as he also is an adjunct for Holmes Institute. He does so much. He is the co-founder of Crossroads Counseling Center, the founder of the Institute for Inner Magnificence, and so much more. And he's an amazing man that is as humble as anyone I've ever met in my life, which is a badge of honor for me. That after 40 years of pastoring and doing everything at the top of his game, he started practitioner studies all over again to learn this study. And you'd have never known he'd ever been in anything before. So just a gift of a person that has taught me so much, and I'm so grateful to have him here. Rev Dr Bary Fleet.
Thank you so much. You remind me of a story of a service club, and they were giving out honors to various members of the service club, and one person was given the honor of being the most humble member of the club, and then they took it away from him because he wore the badge. Part of my morning meditation time, one of the resources I turn to is Emmett Fox's Around the Year, and it just so happened that I'd like to read today's reading. It's called Consistent Building. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's from Romans 12, the second chapter. This is Paul's admonition. Many people understand this in principle, but they fail to demonstrate it because they do not carry it out logically in practice. During prayer, they carefully build up the new mental structure, but as soon as their time of prayer is over, instead of faithfully preserving that structure intact, they promptly knock it down again by negative thinking. Obviously, a bricklayer could work hard in this fashion year after year without ever accomplishing anything. If you are failing to demonstrate, it is probably due to the same cause, building followed by wrecking. We are transformed by the renewing of our mind. Before I can remember, my grandfather was a dairy farmer and worked in a steel mill, and he had 6 boys and 1 girl. And shortly after my birth, he decided it was time to retire. He sold the farm, and my dad and one of his brothers bought a 22-acre piece of the farm. They divided it in half, each with the understanding that they were going to build homes for their families that would be their forever homes. And when I was 5, my dad was ready to start the construction process. He was the general contractor and did much of the labor himself, sometimes with the help of his brothers. And the first thing he did was build a pair of sawhorses. And then he built a second pair of sawhorses for me when I was 5. And I'm really thrilled to say that my grandsons have those sawhorses now, or at least they did the last time I knew about it. The other thing that my dad did when he gave me the sawhorses, he gave me a tool set. He built a pine box that I actually just got rid of a year or so ago, and filled it with real tools. And since then, I have loved tools. Probably have a fetish for tools, actually. But because of my love of tools and just because of who I am, I designed and built a passive solar cabin, and used my tool belt. Now, this is the hammer my dad gave me when I was 5. I counted this week in thinking about this. I have 5 real-size adult hammers, not including the 2 that I gave my grandchildren a couple of years ago when I went to their house to help them build a tree house. This is the carpenter square that my dad put in that initial toolkit. And then I pulled out my tool belt, and I have a lot of tools. This is a tri-square. I don't know. It's actually outdated now, but it's a really cool tool, and it has a level on it because when we're building anything, including our lives, we need to be on the level. Tape measure. I have a tape measure for every level of the house, plus a couple in the shed for whatever might be there. I have a set of adjustable wrenches. I have a set of box end wrenches and open end wrenches, and I actually have 2 sets, one metric and one imperial in the inches. I have so many pairs of pliers. I have needle nose pliers. I have curved needle nose pliers. I have pliers that cut wire. I have regular pliers. I've got a little scraper that I carry in this because you never know when you might need to peel something off and get rid of it. A box cutter. These aren't legal on planes, but you never know when you might need these, and they're great when Amazon ships stuff. I have an awl because you never know when you need to put a hole in something or make a point. Oh, actually, see, I told you, I have 2 size adjustable wrenches, and this doesn't count some of the others that I have hanging in the shop. And of course, when we're building, everybody needs some nails. And this screwdriver, everybody needs one of these if you don't have it, because on one end there's a Phillips head. You can turn it around, and there's a flat head, but then you can pull this out and make a small Phillips head. This is a large Phillips head. Or when you need a large flat end, it's got this. So this is a 4-in-1. And seriously, if you don't have one, you need it. You might not know it yet. But that's kind of the way I am with tools. I have had to stop going to Harbor Freight because I buy tools that I might need someday. I haven't used them yet, but when the occasion arises, I will have the tool to do it. But as I was putting all this together, and this past 3 weeks, we've had some folks in. We're adding on to our house, and we've been closed the deck. And I watched the guys work. I was drooling at the tools that they had to use. But what I noticed is They obviously had big hammers, not these little finish hammer. But in watching them enclose the deck and build an entire room, I never saw them use a hammer to drive a nail. The only time I saw them use a hammer was to tear something apart, because everything is done with nail guns now. And I don't have a nail gun. Actually, I do, but it's so old-fashioned. It's the kind of nail gun that you used to actually put a cartridge in, depending on how much powder, whether what you were pounding into something soft or something concrete. You put a charge in, and then it's like the old muskets. You put the nail in it, you pushed it up against where you want it to be, and then you hit it with a hammer, and that would make the charge fire, and it would drive the nail into the concrete, the wall, whatever. But these guys, they just pull the trigger. They've got it on an air compressor. It's just amazing. But as I was thinking about all of this, and I could go on and on about tools I have and wish I had, but I realized this is a great metaphor for life. And Gina, I was trying to remember, did we do foundations together? I thought so. That was more than 10 years ago. And how many of you have taken foundations? Beyond limits, okay. So at the end of that, everybody had to make a project for the end of that. And Janet Grilly, who was a member of our class, who was taking foundations probably for the third or fourth time, and a member of Concordia, what she did for everybody that was there, she made us toolkits, little miniature toolkits. And you can see that I still have mine. And what she called them are spiritual tools. And here is a ruler, and on one side is the spiritual tool of silence. And on the other side is the spiritual tool of centering. Think about the number of times in our lives when either of those tools would be really helpful for us if we thought to employ it. When things get really hectic and really busy, if we could just take a couple of minutes and stop and center ourselves instead of getting caught up in the whirlwind of what's going on around us. Think about the times when it would be really helpful to just shut up, just stop talking and listen. Listen to what the people around us are saying. Listen to what's coming from their heart, not the words coming out of their mouths. Because what the trap we get caught in is we listen to the words and we miss the heart. And then we start to argue with the words and respond to the words. But when we listen to the heart, you can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. And it's equally important that we listen to our own heart instead of our heads. We get caught up in so many stories that we tell ourselves, so many lies that we believe, that we make up, and we don't take time to listen to our heart. And these are tools that are going to help us build the kind of life that we'd like to have. Screwdriver. On one side is sacred giving. On the other side are affirmations. When I'm at my best, I do my spiritual reading in the morning, and from my spiritual reading, I write an affirmation for the day. I don't think about it. I write it, and I keep a diary. When I affirm what I know to be true, when I affirm my intention for how I want to be, not so much what I want to do, although that's important too, but when I affirm how I want to be, how I want to go through the day, my day goes a lot better. When I think about how I want to be with my wife, how I want to be when I'm here with you, how I want to be when I go to the campus and I'm with my students, how I want to be when I'm at the gym with the folks in classes with me, how I want to be. And sacred giving. Gina invited us to consider sacred giving to Nathan and expressions of appreciation for his gift, his talent, and for his willingness to be with us and share the way he did this morning. Sacred giving to support the center. Saw. I actually have the saw that my dad gave me when I was 5. Didn't fit in my toolkit. But on each side, one side is meditation and the other side is treatment. We'll share in a treatment a little bit later. But to meditate, I just this past week in teaching intro taught a section on thriving and well-being. Dan Buettner worked for the National Geographic. He was commissioned to find 4 areas in the world where people live the longest and stay the healthiest. He found 4 places, and then looked for what some of the common threads were, and they had to work really hard to find a place in the United States, but they did. It was Loma Linda, California, a community of Seventh-day Adventists, and one of the practices that they have. There's a great video about a doctor who was 96 years old, multimillionaire. He was a heart surgeon. He wanted a privacy fence built around part of his property. The contractor wanted $4,000 to build the fence, and he said, "For $4,000, I can build it." So at 96, he built the privacy fence. And you won't be surprised to hear that 4 days later, he was in the hospital in the operating room, but you will be surprised that he was there as the surgeon. He does 20 open heart surgeries a month at 96. Now, honestly, I don't know how I would feel about having a 96-year-old do open heart surgery on me, but knowing about the malpractice liability stuff, that the hospital will stand behind that. But the practice is on the 7th day, they dedicate it to spending time with God, time with family, time in nature, and time with prayer. And it doesn't matter what else is going on, they stop their lives for a day to meditate and to connect and to center. Here's an open end and a boxed in wrench. And one side of that is practitioners. How many of us, when we got into a tight place, have taken advantage of having the resource of practitioners to treat and pray with us? And the other side is tithing. Tithing is one of the things that I have strong feelings about, because it's a word that has become very misused in our culture. We think about whatever we give to the center as our tithe. But tithing is a technical term that means 10%. And that's why when I was a pastor and serving churches, every Sunday when we would take up the offering, I would talk about tithes and offerings. Because some people would be tithing, other people would be making an offering. Tithing is a spiritual practice, and it's a way of stopping to acknowledge. I mean, we go to restaurants, and we don't think anything of giving 10, 15, or 20% because of the good service. But when we look at what the universe has served up to us, and we give a couple of bucks or $3 for that, instead of tithing 10% of how the universe has blessed us financially, it's a spiritual practice. It's a practice of gratitude. It's a practice of acknowledging that we didn't do this on our own. The universe has blessed us with whatever level of financial compensation we have. And this is the one thing Jesus talked about. You remember the story in the temple when people were walking by and they were dropping money in the box, and there was a woman came up and she dropped in 2 pennies. and some of the Pharisees, the priests, were there and kind of snickering. And Jesus said, this woman has given more than all of you because she gave everything she had. A tithe, 10%. Think about. Ian Taylor, Reverend Ian that we both took, taught us to be who we are today in our spiritual journeys. He tells a great story of him in his career. He thought that he deserved a raise. And so he started tithing on the raise he wanted to receive. And shortly after that, he received the raise. It's a spiritual thing. Pliers. On one side is sacred service. On the other side is sacred study. Setting aside time every day to read something inspiring. I want to get the Don Ruiz. I want to know where that came from. When we read things that inspire us and when we make that part of our spiritual practice, it makes a difference. And sacred service, that's one of the things that my wife and I have been talking about lately, is not feeling connected to the community in ways that we're serving the broader community. And I know that COVID has really made that much more challenging, but I know that we feel better. So here's the thing. When we do something nice for somebody else, it changes our body chemistry. It releases a hormone called oxytocin. It makes us feel connected. And whether the something nice is when we're in traffic and we stop and let somebody in, instead of, like I sometimes do, keep bumper to bumper, my God, you're not going to get in next to me. But when we stop and let somebody in, when we just hold the door for somebody, when we do something as simple as smile. I'll say it another way. We have never done something nice for somebody without feeling better about ourselves. We might have wanted an expression of appreciation on their part for the nice thing that we did, but that's allowing somebody else to take our joy away from us. The joy is in the giving, and we're biologically programmed to give. It's part of our sacredness. And then finally, the hammer. The hammer of listening and the hammer of visioning. When we think about not the kind of world we're living in, but the kind of world we would like to be living in. I challenged somebody on Facebook who commented about can't wait for the world to change so we can be in service and be in the world the way we want to be. Well, no, we can't wait for that. We are living in the world that we're in, and we've got to figure out how to be of service in the world that we're in with the limitations that we have. And we've got to vision the kind of world that we would like to be living in and do our part to embody that. And if we want to live in a peaceful world, we have to live as peaceful people. We have to come from the place that's in us. In my book, I talk about our inner magnificence, because we all have an inner magnificence. We all are, we start as specks of God, and we evolve into this material expression of our godliness. But what happens to so many of us? Life happens, and we cover up that sacredness, we cover up that specialness, we cover up that beauty, we cover up our talents, we cover up our gifts, and we forget who we really are as expressions of the divine. That's the bad news. The good news is we can remember and we can reconnect with the truth. We can show the world the light, as Nathan talked about. I am the light. I am light. That's who I really am. That's the truth about me. Sometimes what we show the world is our dark side. Sometimes what we feel is our dark side, and we live from that place. But the good news is we don't have to be there. And we have tools. And that's what I love about the science of mind, is it gives us the tools to be the best version of us. It gives us the tools to live our lives so that when we come to the end of the day and we put our heads on the pillow, we can look back and we can look in and we can look out and we can say, I feel good about being me. And that's a promise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Bary Fleet, and truly inspirational. And yes, we are here to be the change that we wish to see in the world. And just such a gift, such a gift. Thank you. And now it is our time for sacred giving and tithing, and knowing that what we give always returns. It is the law of circulation. And if you can, say with me our sacred giving affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you. And this is our how you can connect with us. Yes, in person we have a butterfly we're passing. But we also have PayPal, and we also have a text to give program. So know that you can go online and you can do PayPal or text to give. And I'm going to put that, we're going to put that up there as well. We'll have that up there as we go through our other announcements. Okay, and we are live on Move Media Network, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have, we'll be live again, so we'll be able to see this beautiful message and music all over again. And we are there. You can see us every Sunday. And fellowship, we actually have a brief fellowship right after service. This is the link, and this is the same link that you will use for the workshop, because we have a wonderful workshop this is the book. I just wanted to put that out there. Move Into Your Magnificence. That's actually Reverend Bary's book. And we also have his workshop, which is the science of success. So we would love for you to join us at 11:30. And again, the link is the fellowship link. And we will put that up there again in a little bit. But we want to make sure that you know that we have the workshop coming up at 11:30 this morning. So we'd love for you to join us. It is a suggested love offering of $20 more, or whatever you can do. We can also use PayPal for that. We want to make sure that if you are going to put that in through PayPal, please just note that that's what that is for. If you're making your donation that way, we appreciate it. And again, I'm going to leave this up our Zoom link, and we will have that up again at the end of service. If there's ever a problem, know that you can always go to our website. That's cslboston.org, and you can get those links and information at any time. We also have a calendar. And at this time, we are going to have our treatment. And then we'll have one more song with Nathan. So
I'd invite you to close your eyes and to just breathe. As you're aware of the breath coming in and the breath leaving your body, recognize that you're breathing in spirit and you're exhaling all that no longer serves you. Recognizing that there is one power that is all, that creates, sustains all that is. Recognizing that the nature of this power is love, it is peace, it is joy, it is beauty, it is glory. Recognizing that it is love, and it is everything that we label as good. Recognizing that we are that. We are physical expressions of the one power. I know that that's true of me, and I know if it's true of me, it has to be true of everybody I see, of everybody that whose paths I cross. I know it is true of everybody, everywhere, all the time. Because I know that truth is eternal, that the real truth is true everywhere, always, for all people, forever and ever. So knowing that truth, I know that everything in our lives is unfolding perfectly. And I know that even when I don't have the vision to see it, I know it's true. I know that there is good in everything. I know that there are two stories. There is the human story, and there is the spiritual truth. And I know that we have the potential to live our lives from that spiritual plane that allows us to see what is true, what is good, what is beautiful, what is harmonious, what is evolving. I know that we live in a world that shows us what appears to be death, that shows us what appears to be tragedy, that shows us what appears to be disappointment. And I know that those are all illusions. I know the truth that is beyond the physical realm. I know it is true for every one of us. I know it is true for every aspect of our lives. And I know that in spite of knowing, we sometimes forget. But I am grateful that we have the tools to help us remember. I'm grateful that we are surrounded by like-minded fellow travelers who can remind us of who we are, who can see the truth of who we are even when we can't see it within ourselves. I am grateful that we have fellowship with each other. I am grateful for the Spirit that works in us, the nudges, the coincidences, all of the small things that reminds us, that affirms to us that the universe always has our back. I am so grateful to know this truth. I am so thankful to know that this is true. I'm thankful that we can claim this and proclaim it. And from this place of incredibly deep gratitude, I say amen and amen and amen. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Reverend Bary. Thank you so much. And down the bottom, you can see it's drbaryfleet.com. You can find out more information about his wonderful inner magnificence. This is another website that actually has the course that we'll be talking about later. Again, it's inner-magnificence. I think you can actually do a screenshot if you're on your phone. And we'll make sure that we get that listed on our website and on our Facebook page as well. So thank you for that. And our final song is going to be from Nathan as well. Thank you so much for being here this morning with us. And it has just been a gift to hear you. And people can, this is the PayPal, and I will put that up again. But also, you're at nathanaswell.com, which, you know, you have your beautiful CDs little by little. And yes, and they are available with links right on your website as well. So thank you for that, and thank you for being here. And your final song is I Am a Light.
Thank you, Gina. It's a great pleasure to be with you this morning in your community. I'd like to take us out this morning, as Gina said, with a song by my good friend Robert Anderson. This is called I Am a Light, and it's a call and response song. So that means I sing, I am a light, and you immediately sing back, I am a light in this world, in this world, in this world. You'll get the hang of it. But before we do that, I'm just going to sing the first one and kind of take my time. But once the drum machine starts, we're all in. Okay. It'll all make sense in a minute. Here we go.
Yeah, I am alive, I am alive in this world, in this world. I am alive, I am alive in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I am a light in this world, in this world, in this world. I am a light, I am a light in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I see the joy, I see the joy in this world, in this world. I see the joy, I see the joy in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'm living love every day. I'm living love every day. I'm living love every day. I'm spreading peace along the way. Right time, right place. I live in love every day. Ah, yeah. Ah, ooh, yeah. Ah, yeah. Ah, ooh, yeah. Right time, right place. I'm living love every day. I am alive, I am alive in this world, in this world. I am alive, I am alive in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine.
So wonderful. What a gift. Thank you so much for being with us from Vancouver. What a gift. Thanks so much.
My great pleasure, Tina. Love and blessings to you all.
And I wish you all a wonderful and beautiful day. May this day and this week be filled with magic, magnificence, and love. Sending and sharing love with all. Namaste.